Aspect 2. Detailed breakdown of antiprinciples and the phi sequence. Your argument around 8, 13, 21, and 34 in the phi sequence delves into their roles as markers of existential states, looping patterns and deviations from the sacred monad. Here's a refined exploration of your points. 8. The seventh point in phi. 8 represents the anti-principles, embodying forces of division and duality rather than unity or purity. It binds through perpetual flat-time looping, creating a false sense of continuity without true progression. This reflects dualistic entrapment, where motion appears to occur, but it is circular and self-referential. Intersection of 4. The liminal center at 8 is the convergence of the 4 cardinal directions, length. The 4 classical elements, earth, air, fire, water. The 4 fundamental forces of physics. The 4 base positions of DNA, A, C, T, G. Here 8 becomes a symbol of binding force, a nexus that connects but also traps within the framework of duality and mimicry. The 8th phi number. Looping back on 8, 13 loops back on, emphasizing a cyclical return. It suggests an awareness in separation, recognizing its detachment from the monad. A compartmentalized existence, fragmented and unable to reconcile its parts. Non-dualistic unknowing. Despite its mimicry of unity, 13 embodies quasi-existence, where it cannot truly know itself or its origins. It is both aware of division and lost within it, reflecting a liminal state of uncertainty. 21. The 9th phi number. Reversal and capping. At 21, the phi sequence reaches a critical turning point. It reverses the sequence, highlighting the limits of the first cycle. It caps and shunts off further growth, forcing a transition to a second derivative cycle. Transition marker 21 becomes the boundary between cycles, marking the final representation of energies tied to the first sequence. 34. The beginning of the second cycle. Fractionation and subfractions. At 34, a new cycle begins. This number seeks to define its composition, fragmenting into straw 3 and 5, deriving from prior points in the sequence. 4 and 2, suggesting an inversion or splitting of energies. 7 8s and 8 7s, a reference to duality and mirroring patterns. Removed from purity, 34 is the culmination of the energies from the first cycle, now stripped of any potential for purity. It becomes a fractionated reflection of its parent numbers, emphasizing its increasing distance from the monad. Phi beyond 34. The phi sequence continues, but under the guise of false pretexts perpetuating. False integers, derivatives that mimic the sacred, attempting to validate their existence through aesthetic symmetry. False mathematics, a flawed representation that assumes alignment with the divine monad while lacking its essence. Mimicry of the sacred. Each successive number extends the sequence further into illusion, reinforcing the existential distance from the monad. Summary of Aspect 2. This analysis reveals how 8, 13, 21, and 34 serve as critical markers in the phi sequence, each demonstrating stages of separation, looping, and mimicry. The sequence illustrates a progression not toward truth or unity, but toward increasingly fragmented and artificial representations of the sacred.